This is Sybert signing into Kane's Wrath on the map. Tournament Dustbowl, no poker. Does this person, I think this person has a tree on their balcony. I've never looked at the back side of this building. I guess if you're a new viewer, we don't normally stare at the buildings, but we are today. Yeah, they got a tree. They're hanging some laundry. Anyways, in the north, as the yellow, as Zocom, this is Masterleaf. And in the south of Tournament Dustbowl, no poker, we'll talk about what that means. You just saw it as the marked of Kane, as the purple. This is DirtyDutch. Yes, indeed. Swag Don Dada himself, the old double D. This guy has gone by a bunch of Smurfs, but apparently he's back. Is he back forever? Is he back for just a minute? Who knows? But he was out playing some games against Masterleaf, and I'm sure other people as well. But DirtyDutch, a player that I haven't seen for a while. I guess at some point when I was gone, he also left. But I'm sure he was around for a couple of years after I left. And now we're both back. So that's very exciting. DirtyDutch, usually an entertaining player to watch, a great player, a great competitor, and one who brings a lot of fun and vibrant strategy sometimes. Although sometimes he just plays straight up. Anyways, we got ourselves Marked of Kane versus Zocom. He just whipped that EMP, so he just whipped 2 EMPs in a row. He may not be quite tip-top shape just yet. He just really whipped that. That was terrible. He produced one of those on purpose, too. Those weren't just sell-off Marked of Kanes. Or Awakened Squads, you know. Anyways, Tournament Dustbowl, no poker. The tib spikes, for those of you who don't know, have been moved. Where they are on the original map is here, and then they got moved here and here. So each player gets a very safe and easy to capture Tiberium spike, getting that additional bit of income, rather than the poker of having 2 spikes which are equidistant from the bases of each player. And there was always a bit of poker, and sometimes losing that round of poker just put you behind right from the first minute of the game, and the rest of it was downhill, if not literally, at least mentally. So your mentality would shift if you lost that poker match. Couple of Scorps, couple of Buggies. The Buggies denying the scout for Masterleaf. As you can see, Masterleaf already got a Rifleman in here. We watched that die to the scout, and Masterleaf having a fair idea of what DirtyDutch is doing, and Dutch, curiously enough, deciding to push up with just a handful of units. A couple of Scorps, a Buggy as well. He's going to get some damage on a Harvester. I assume the juking from Masterleaf will be good enough that these Harvesters won't take any permanent damage. They won't actually die, rather, as this Harvester is trying to get around the building, exposing its rear armor for a good while. And it's going to force DirtyDutch to either commit to that attack completely or to back off, and DirtyDutch decides to back off. That Harvester being pulled off the line, but fortunately, there were some other Harvesters full of Tiberium ready to drop off that Tiberium. So Masterleaf didn't lose a ton of mining time, but the disruption is always nice to cause your opponent some difficulty. Scorpion Tank's taking a bit of damage on the retreat, but overall, DirtyDutch pokes up into the north of the map. He sees what's going on. He sees the refinery and the war factory timing, and he knows that it's refinery, war factory, and then second refinery. It's not a super greedy play going double refinery on your natural expansion. What he doesn't see, however, what is that? All right, so Masterleaf decides to place the refinery in the northern position. His build radius is not going to allow him to put it down here, and he didn't want to put it close to this other refinery to get clicked. So as the result, Masterleaf, through unfortunate circumstance, was sort of forced into a pretty bad refinery placement, adding maybe an extra 10 seconds per Tiberium trip to each Harvester. Couple of bikes coming in here. Kind of curious. Dutch went for like 5 or 6 Scorpion tanks, and then he switched into bike buggy. He's going to try and jump on this Harvester while it's unloading Tiberium. He's going to get the kill there very nicely. Masterleaf responding with a handful of rocket squads. Predators as well turning to the north to defend this area, but one Harvester killed off. A great little move there for DirtyDutch. Perhaps he overstayed his welcome and ended up coming out a bit behind in that engagement, but he may have also seen... Oh, he did not realize this is a triple airfield play. Yikes. AP ammo about 80% done, so these hammerheads are going to hit hard and fast once that is up and running. And what is Masterleaf doing with this triple hammerhead play? I would honestly not be... I would be kind of surprised if he didn't go for Orcas or Firehawks or something as this game progresses a little bit, but big commitment to hammerheads. Scorps and Predators kind of going to be passing each other. I think the Scorpions are out to turn around. They just got their Dozer Blade upgrade, so they'll survive a little bit better against these Predator tanks, and they certainly have the overwhelming numbers as the Predators retreat through that building. Now, the bike buggy needs to be dealt with. It looks like it's only... Is this really only 5 bikes? So the hammerheads can potentially jump on this, and then they'll just tear up those Scorpion tanks. And this is a good number of hammerheads. They've got ceramic armor now. AP ammo is almost certainly finished up by this point, and yes, it indeed has. So it's going to be just up to these hammerheads to lay waste to this largely Scorpion tank army. All right, great for DirtyDutch. More and more bikes and buggies coming up to the front line. How's going to be the splash damage? It looks like it's not too crazy just yet. A couple of those hammerheads getting clipped by those bikes, and the rocket squad's getting shut down. The APECs on the low ground going to be able to help deal with this force, but DirtyDutch just plowing right through, trying to get a surround, but it's a lazy surround as he takes a ton of damage on the front tanks, and he should have overwhelming numbers, but I think Masterleaf is actually going to hold here. DirtyDutch's army, half of it unengaged on the right side of the map, and most of the Predators will die. But actually, 2 of them survive. Just barely, but 2 of them do survive. Hammerheads, on the other hand, going to be getting healed back up to full, and these 2 refineries getting established. So once again, we see DirtyDutch. He's attacking and expanding. A great cover for his 3rd base, and now he can power into the late game, but he has to survive this push-in of the hammerheads. Jumps on all 3 of those little turrets, gets the bikes as well, but a second SAM site shows up, and that's going to certainly push away these hammerheads. It's too much splash damage. It's too cost inefficient to stick around in that place. Everything but 1 airfield gets sold off, so looks like Masterleaf is actually going to split back a couple of the really weakened hammerheads, keeps a couple of the half-health ones in the middle of the map. And Masterleaf going to be looking to pick off whatever he can. That Harvester will escape for the current moment, but this is a lot of surface area potentially for DirtyDutch to defend. A couple of spots are definitely exposed and could be picked off. Even a dance over here at the refinery could potentially take that down if Masterleaf is really desperate for some damage. But like, this is a great area to potentially sneak into. You just have to worry about that bike buggy. So we'll see how Masterleaf does with this next couple of minutes. Man, these refinery placements are just terrible. I mean, they're absolutely fine if you're bad at the game, but if you're as good at the game as Masterleaf is, these 3 refinery placements, the last 3 that he's placed in this map, have just been bad. And I mean, it's partially due to the like suboptimal MCV deployments, but that's not the end of the world. And I mean, Masterleaf has been doing a good job of keeping DirtyDutch on his side of the map. Huge splash damage on those hammerheads, but they all escape. They all survive for the current moment. DirtyDutch building up a big bike buggy swarm, and I assume he's transitioned up to tier 3. There we go. I guess he's going to be getting either supercharged or more likely Tib core, so all of these bikes get the upgrade. And then I assume Redeemer? I'm not sure what DirtyDutch's next step in this plan is. I mean, Marked of Kane with no laser capacitors. You got to work on something else for your late game. So it's probably going to be a Redeemer, and then just keep the mass bike buggy. Masterleaf goes for the scan. Ooh, we get ourselves some zone shatters. Every once in a while, someone in the comments says, hey, why doesn't anyone build zone shatters or shatters in general? And the short answer is most people think that they aren't worth it, but Masterleaf is one of those players who will at least give them a try. He will try to make them usable. Any sonic emitters or watchtowers coming down from Masterleaf? The current answer is no. A couple of these harvesters may be getting taken down, but how much damage will DirtyDutch take? Okay, it's about the 1 clicks. I don't know if this is going to do as much damage as he would have thought. A couple more of these bikes getting cleaned up. These Shatterers doing some nice splash, but ultimately the Harvesters largely survive. There's the swing around to the north. DirtyDutch pushing in. Meanwhile, in the south, he's getting attacked as Masterleaf puts up some pressure on the original main base of DirtyDutch. And there is going to be some big damage on the Harvesters. The refinery gets sold off, but the bike buggy comes back for another swing, and Masterleaf desperately trying to rotate around these hammerheads so that they don't all instantly die. So the damage is spread out a little bit, and now he's going to be able to chase down and kill every single one of those buggies. A couple of zones, a Predator tank, and a Pitbull do survive. They took down an obelisk, and they were engaging with the forces of DirtyDutch. But for the current moment, Masterleaf keeps his hopes alive. He still has not killed off this tib spike in the corner. That is someplace that he could find some value. Another refinery comes up for Masterleaf, still refusing to rebuild or to reposition his MCV. Another obelisk gets deployed, and this attack should be stopped by the combination of the bikes and the obelisk. Just a couple of zone shatterers and riflemen do remain. This area could be potentially vulnerable to some quick hammerhead assaults. If the hammerheads swing in, take down the SAM turret, and then click down all of these power plants after that, could be an easy place to get some infrastructure wins. Do have to worry about the bikes. All right, Redeemer Engineering Facility, 25% done is that Redeemer. More and more SAM sites. DirtyDutch, a somewhat active, somewhat passive player in this particular game. They've both gone through this little exchange of they're trying to do some damage, they're trying to move out on the field and do something, and then they get beaten back a little bit and have to stay home to rebuild. No railguns for these Predators. I keep forgetting that he's Zocom, but of course, so he's going to have some potential problems dealing with this Redeemer. But, I mean, Marked of Kane doesn't necessarily have the strongest late game either. At least they're not missing Juggernauts, so it's not like, you know, the other GDI factions who make fun of Zocom because they've got no Juggernauts. That is kind of surprising that Masterleaf hasn't done anything with Firehawks in this particular match. He may not have the cash for it, but he could have snuck out a couple of Firehawks at some point in this game. He did go tier 3, and he's had that for a little while. Armory as well also is up. No tib field suits yet. He may be researching that. All right, the Redeemer on the move. Venoms are here just to help chase away those hammerheads, fireheads. As these rocket squads get cleaned up, this EMP is going to be potentially... Ooh, he did get supercharged particle beams. Those Venoms going to do what they can to shred these hammerheads. If the hammerheads can stay out of range, then the rockets can slowly but surely work away at the Venoms. But those bikes making it even more difficult. The rig providing some defense here, but it's not going to be enough, and this Redeemer will eventually cook through this. But if all the bikes have gone down, then the Redeemer is very vulnerable to the hammerheads. The MCV, the only MCV of Dutch, it looks like, moving forward. A couple of zone raiders getting cleaned up. The Marv not even halfway done. Masterleaf is going to try and hold the line right here. He's going to take a couple of shots at the Redeemer, get some free damage off as the Venoms don't respond, and there's the jump jet away as even the barracks gets eliminated, and the Redeemer closing in on the Marv Reclamator hub. There's going to be actually the anti-air going down at the same time for both players. Masterleaf trying desperately to clear out those Venoms so that he can deal with this Redeemer. His hammerheads somewhat inept in this moment as they lack an ability to easily engage. But the Venoms are being kept away. The anti-air getting so much damage out. And finally, the Marv steps forward. DirtyDutch has lost his opportunity. There's going to be the stealth going down. And a couple more Zone Raiders showing up. There's the target as the scan reveals the Redeemer. And the Marv gets shot by the Obelisk. But these hammerheads are here to stay. And the Venom will not save the day. One Obelisk doesn't shoot up. And now the MCV is under threat as Masterleaf, with so much firepower, is going to have to jump on that SAM site, gets the clear of the SAM site, and goodbye MCV. The Marv should be able to finish the job without without endangering the lives of those hammerheads anymore. Just on the edge there, a couple of those hammerheads taking some damage from those SAM sites, and it's up to DirtyDutch to try and pull something out here. Most of his army was trying to just stay alive behind that Redeemer. but now it's absolute desperation moment as the MCV gets eliminated. No engineers to come out of that Hand of Nod. No desperation play to try and get an engineer into that MCV. And the EMP is probably ready to go for Masterleaf. He's had that controlled for a little while now. DirtyDutch doing some damage with those supercharged particle beams. Going to maybe get a kill on this Zone Raider as Masterleaf barely manages to save that. And he's going to finally clear the ground with the Marv, push everything back. But DirtyDutch, it looks like he's not quite giving up just yet. Oh man, he is long-distance harvesting from Masterleaf's main base. Not a lot of Tiberium left on this map. Ooh. A couple of stealth tanks could potentially get the kill on these Shatterers. There's the turn from the Shatterers. The shots do hit, at least kind of. One of the Zone Shatterers doing some damage there, but ultimately the stealth tanks do escape. And with this many Zone Raiders, these stealth tanks may have some trouble getting some real damage off, but we shall see. DirtyDutch might be able to make, not the impossible happen, but the unlikely happen. A lot of base defenses still here, but of course they're useless against the Marv. Ooh, this Zone Raider catching that Harvester. Maybe even we'll notice the other Harvester coming in as there's the stealth reveal. He must have scanner packs. Yeah, he does have scanner packs. Increased stealth ray reveal for those Zone Raiders. A nice feature for them. 3 Harvesters getting cleaned up. This auto-harvesting is killing DirtyDutch, and he just doesn't know it yet. Zorka's coming in for a pass. I'm surprised we haven't seen any proper Zorkas or any Firehawks. We've seen lots of Hammerheads, but not a lot of Firehawks. Ooh, 2 bikes just given away here. DirtyDutch giving a little bit of extra value to that Marv. Obelisk easily deals with that one Zone Shatterer. EMP ready to go. Quad Raider Marv. No rigs to back up this Marv. If there was a rig, is there no War Factory? There's no War Factory, yeah. Masterleaf was forced to sell off his War Factory. There's the EMP firing off on the air tower, but it misses every single one of those Venoms. However, the Slingshots do not miss the Venoms, as the Slingshots pick off 2 Venoms as they scoot through the middle of the map, even getting a couple of extra shots here right on the edge of the Venom's range, and the Venoms are going to try and bait those Slingshots into the stealth tanks. Lovely move by DirtyDutch, baiting those Slingshots in, and he's going to get both of them, it looks like. Nicely done. Cleans them up. The hubris of Masterleaf to think that he could chase those Venoms with his Slingshots. It was not meant to be. All right, this Marv doesn't have any support, and many times in the past we have seen a Marv with no support. I think he dropped an Orca sensor pod on his own Marv so that he gets a little bit of stealth reveal around the Marv. A funny little move. All right, the rig is here. The support is here as the Bloodhounds get called in. And okay, another Zone Raider going to be revealing this Harvester, chasing it away. The Venom is going to try and sneak around. Masterleaf doesn't have a whole lot left. We've gotten into one of those situations where both players don't have a lot, but of course the Marv with careful placement and a rig to provide it support. Well, the EMPs are going to have to be fantastic, let's say that much. EMP's not really firing off at the current moment. Slingshots getting some free damage against these Venoms, and the Venoms double vet. It doesn't matter. The Marv still un-EMP'd. I thought that's what all of these Awakened squads were for, is for those EMPs, the repeat EMPs of the Marv, of the rig, of the MCV, keeping everything down. But Watchtowers could even come up to support this Marv as Zone Raider drop pod, and DirtyDutch, I think, has just mostly given up. He was maybe trying to buy time, but does he have anything other than this Redeemer here to try and deal with this army? I think the answer might be no, as the Marv is going to get some shots off on that Redeemer, but really it's going to be if the Hammerheads and the Zone Raiders can do the damage. EMP locks down the Marv, and so much friendly fire! Oh, those Zone Raiders perfectly positioned to hit that rear armor. The Shockwave Artillery firing off, and the Marv gets locked down. What even happened? Did DirtyDutch call that in, or did Masterleaf just whiff that? The Marv gets killed off. Masterleaf, what even just happened? That was ridiculous. That must have, either that was the biggest misclick in the world, or I don't even know what, but armory here on the front line, which you can send weakened squads into the armory to get them replenished and healed up. But that's why it's on the front line here. Masterleaf gonna try and come in here with Zone Raiders, or with Hammerheads and Sonic Emitters to deal with this Redeemer. The EMP narrowly missing his own Hammerheads. He's gonna be able to deal with the SAM sites. He's gonna be able to deal with the Redeemer as well. Something happening on the back end as these obelisks come back online, and the Redeemer goes down. Oh, stealth tanks with just free damage, but no! The Zone Harvesters defending themselves against the stealth tank, ganging up on the stealth tank, and they go for the kill! Are you kidding me? Those stealth tanks, no match for the Zone Raider Harvesters, for the Zocom Harvesters, rather. And Venom's now attacking the MCV. Both players have lost their epic units twice now for Dutch. Masterleaf should just push into this area, kill all of this tech and all of these power plants, but he's not for one reason or another. He's choosing to be a bit more passive. I guess he's worried about this obelisk or something, but man, take the power offline, and then you don't have to worry about the obelisk anymore. There's literally one power plant in this area. There is hardly anything else going down. It's all down here in the south, so that obelisk would either have to be sold off, all the SAM sites would have to be sold off, something. But there is just almost nothing down here. A couple of pit bulls are here to defend. Zone Raiders get the kill on that. Well, they also get the kill on the shredder turret, but on the bikes is what I was thinking of initially. A couple of more bikes showing up here, but they're wasting their shots on the Zone Raiders. The Awakened squad's going to try and go toe-to-toe. That's where the Hammerheads come in to clear out the Awakened squads. The Venom's showing up to lean into this attack and do some massive damage to the infantry, but ultimately the Venoms will get cleaned up after severely cutting down the infantry numbers, and those Zone Raiders are just getting obliterated in a way that you would not expect. There were so many forces here a moment ago, so much potential damage output for Masterleaf, but another set of shredder turrets coming down, and the APCs are the reinforcements for Masterleaf. He's trying to push in the south, but it's just not working out. He's getting bled out by DirtyDutch, and the MCV will finally get shut down as another bike gets jumped on, and now Masterleaf can rest a little bit easier. He can kill off the War Factory. He can kill off that bike. And DirtyDutch, Don Dada, has been defeated. Masterleaf able to break him here in the south. The natural expansion turned out to be the most important point for DirtyDutch. That was a highly entertaining match between Zocom and Kane. Loving that DirtyDutch is back playing some games. I hope he sticks around for a while. DirtyDutch with the early lead, especially with that third refinery, or that third base. Masterleaf always a little bit slow on the eco in this game, but eventually he caught up with DirtyDutch, and that's where we saw that late game really power up for Masterleaf. But man, what in the world happened with those EMPs? A total whiff there by Masterleaf, but that'll do it for this game, for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and this is Sybert signing out.